Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video. I saw that LoeyLane had been talking about this in its grief hallucinations, and Loey didn't really know what it was. She just was talking in a video about how she would see her dad. That's actually very normal during the grieving process. From the Telegraph UK, 6 in 10 grieving people see or hear their dead loved ones, and that's basically what grieving hallucinations is. It's where your mind basically plays tricks on you and you end up seeing the person that has passed away, or you hear their voice. And from world psychology, it's your mind's way of not quite being ready to let go of the person who's meant a lot to you. So it's basically your mind is projecting images out into the real world from past memories or from pictures or just seeing the person, missing the person. It's basically your mind's way of trying to protect you and not really being ready to let go. So I just wanted to bring this up because I know whenever I was experiencing it, it was very weird. I can tell you a couple of times that it happened to me. I lost my dad 7 years ago to suicide, and part of the grieving process is you can have very, very vivid dreams, which is also what LoeyLane talked about, having like very, very like weird dreams about it. And whenever my dad passed away, probably about 3 or 4 months afterwards, I had a dream, and it was my dad sitting in a chair in front of me, me sitting in a chair. There was nothing around us, it was just white. And he was talking to me like normal, like nothing was wrong, like he never died. And I was mad at him. I was like, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, why'd you do it? And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, he had no clue what I was talking about. And I was yelling at him, like, why'd you do it? What are you talking about? Why are you just sitting here? Why didn't you tell me why? And he was very confused, and then it hit him. And he started crying. And he told me, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it, I didn't mean to do it, I didn't want to do it, I'm sorry. And I woke up bawling my eyes out. And after that dream is when I started to visually see him and hear him. So that dream was very realistic to me. After the initial shock and bawling my eyes out, I felt an overwhelming amount of peace and wholeness because I didn't have any answers. I didn't get to say goodbye. So that was kind of my goodbye and almost an answer, but not necessarily. But after that dream, I did start to see him. I can remember one time I was walking in Walmart, and off to the corner of my eye, it was in the men's section, I saw my dad, and I immediately looked over and he was not there. I had seen him, like it was the silhouette of my dad, but nobody was there, if that makes sense. And it upset me. I mean, some people find it peaceful or reassuring that, oh, they're with me, blah, blah, but it's actually a psychological thing. I don't believe that my dad's spirit is here. I believe that once you die, you go to heaven or hell. There's no in-between. There's no purgatory. There's no nothing. I just believe that you go directly to heaven or you go directly to hell, and that's just my belief, and I am okay if you believe something else. That's just my personal belief. And then there was a time when I had heard him speaking. I don't remember where at all, but I remember like hearing his voice and he wasn't there, and we were like in a public setting, and I'd seen him a few times, like at restaurants. I would just see him, or it would be a different person that had the similar body type or similar hair that just looked kind of like my dad, and my mind had made me believe it was him, and so I would get very upset. And what's crazy with grieving is I actually, for the like first 6 months of my dad's death, did not believe it was real. I was in denial for that long. My dad was a very jokester, like to play pranks, even if they're like really creepy, like bad pranks. And I thought my way of coping with things was to actually believe that it was a prank, that my dad was just joking and nobody in the family was in on it, and he just was gonna appear and be like, ha ha ha, that was a joke. But like, I knew it wasn't because I was there. I found his body that night, and my uncle had been on call as an EMT and pronounced him dead. Like, he tried to bring him back, and I knew that, but also something within my body didn't allow me to accept that. And that's kind of what is interesting about grieving, and kind of why I've gotten into social work. When my dad passed away, I moved in with my aunt and uncle, and my uncle that I lived with had actually killed himself too. He wasn't blood related, it was my aunt's husband. I had seen him a few times as well, my uncle, and he had like a distinctive smell. he smoked a lot and like a certain cigarette, so he would have a certain cigarette smell to him and like very strong. And so I would like smell that smell, and he was a big NASCAR fan. Number 24 was like his thing, and he would always wear like a hat or a shirt or something that had to do with that, or like a work shirt. And I'd seen somebody, and he was like 6'2", so I'd see somebody that like literally had his shirt, the smell, and his height, and I thought it was him, and I was like, I thought maybe it was just a joke as well. Like, grieving is different and it's very weird. But if there's anything in here that I talked about that you want me to talk about further, like about grieving and losing parents and dealing with suicide, I would be more than welcome to make videos. That's kind of what I want to use my platform for, is to talk about it, because nobody wants to talk about suicide or losing somebody or even finding somebody that has committed suicide. Those things are very traumatizing and very hard to get through. And I'm still working on it after 7 years. Sorry, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you've lost somebody to suicide, if you've gone through a traumatic experience, my biggest advice to you is to get help. And I wish I had gone to therapy. And actually, the state of Kansas, which is where I live, forced me to go to therapy. They went to, I went to a Christian therapist, and I absolutely hated him. I'm not comfortable with males, especially older males. Because I lost my dad, I have a very uncomforting feeling around men, and it's just something that I've developed, which I need to work on. But I feel very, very uncomfortable around men, and they had made me go about 4 months after my dad died, and I had to sit in a room with this man by myself for an hour, and he didn't help me. I'm not saying therapy is not the answer, because I'm definitely saying it is the answer, and I am a kind of a hypocrite because I haven't gone since then for myself, which I'm actually going to this year. That is my 2017 goal, is to go to therapy and work on YouTube. But anyways, so I went to him, and he made me cry every single session, and I don't know if it was just because it was too soon. I felt like it was too soon to talk about things, and he also made me feel like my dad went to hell, and that was something that I was really having to work on, was believing, like figuring out whether I believed he went to heaven or hell, and that was something that was very traumatizing to me after the fact. I begged and begged and begged my aunt and uncle to please let me not go to him, and they finally got me out of it. And I think I should have tried to go to a different therapist, because sometimes the therapist you go to just doesn't work for you, and you need to go to a different one and keep trying until you find someone that clicks. Because with a therapist, you have to feel very comfortable, and the person that's seeing you has to feel comfortable. I need, personally, a female to talk to, and I didn't get that, and I should have. And the brain takes a long time to heal, especially from traumatic experiences. So the sooner you get into therapy and take care of what you went through, the better it is, the better outcome, the better the brain will heal. And the longer it takes, like the 7 years that I've had, it's going to be harder for me to deal with things that happened 7 years ago, and even 10 years ago, and even 20 years ago, from the time I was born till now, because I've had a lot of things that have thrown me out of my comfortable box, and I didn't really deal with them. My biggest advice to you, if you have gone through even just losing anybody that you know, therapy would be the best for me, especially if you feel like it has affected you in a negative way and it affects your everyday life. But anyways, that's my video for today. It's kind of about grieving, losing parents, suicide, grief, hallucinations, kind of my past. I hope you guys like this. I kind of want to make some videos more like this, talking about either grieving or losing parents. Let me know what you guys think about it, and if you like this type of videos, just so I can kind of know and kind of steer towards what you guys would rather see. And if you guys have experienced anything like this, just know it does get better, and I do feel better. I just want to take care of it, because I know I have a lot of suppressed memories. I don't want those suppressed memories to keep bubbling up and then them to just explode one day and cause me to have a mental breakdown. So don't let that build up. Don't do what I did, because it kind of sucks. And I'm not saying I'm the worst person, and I'm not like the saddest or the worst or toxic person. I can tell it affected me, and I should have taken care of it, but I'm wanting to, and that's the first step, is wanting help, and getting that help is another step, and it's a hard thing, but it's necessary. So I guess I'll stop with that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you guys have a really good day, and let me know if you want any videos, if you want me to talk about anything. I'd be willing to talk about just about anything. I'm pretty open with everything. So I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you guys later. So bye.